In 1933, there was a coup to overthrow the United States government, but it failed. Ringleaders behind this coup were representatives of the J.P. Morgan administration, the DuPont family, Remington Arms, and there was an anti-New Deal administration called the American Liberty League. The goal was to have 500,000 World War I veterans under the leadership of Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in U.S. history at the time, who was also a retired general. Let me give you some background about all this. In 1929, we had the great stock market crash, which eventually helped lead to the Great Depression, which was the worst economic disaster that Americans have ever witnessed. President at the time, Herbert Clark Hoover, was not even leading this country for a year when the Great Depression hit. Before recently, he was looked upon as one of the worst presidents that the United States has ever had. But that's not really true. Hoover stands accused of not intervening at all or nowhere near enough in order to fix the U.S. economy given the horrendous disaster it was facing. But he actually did, and it infuriated the wealthy and the industrialists of the country because they wanted the economy to take care of itself while he wanted to start funding what needed to be funded. Look at the chart of federal spending from 1929 up until 1934 when FDR stepped into office. He actually started upping it, especially between 1931 and 1932. It may not have been enough, but he was facing a lot of conservative and wealthy resistance at the time. What made the Depression so horrible is that prices across the board were dropping. And yeah, that does sound like a dream if you have money. But guess what was falling even further than prices? Workers' wages. So wages dropped by almost 50% in about 4 years, and unemployment got up to 25%. So everybody was broke, and anyone who was working was near broke.